Good morning. Boiling point. Tensions high between the U.S. and Iran after 2 straight days of violent protests and clashes at the American embassy in Baghdad.
This is state-sponsored terror.
Demonstrators finally backing away overnight after U.S. forces fight back. More American troops now heading to the region. We're live with the very latest. Crisis down under. Australia coping with an unprecedented disaster, the worst wildfires in decades. Thousands of people trapped, evacuations underway. Nearly a third of the country's iconic koalas feared dead. A live report from Sydney just ahead. Game changers, tributes pour in overnight for 2 legends in the sports world. Former NBA Commissioner David Stern and Yankee great and World Series hero Don Larson.
A no-hitter, a perfect game in a World Series.
We'll look back at their historic achievements on the field and in the front office. All that plus the Pope, the slap, and the apology. Pope Francis says he's sorry after he's caught on camera angrily slapping away the hand of a female worshiper at the Vatican. Cracking down what the FDA could soon ban to combat the nation's teen vaping epidemic. And giving it a try, the hot New Year's trend, going alcohol-free for 1 month. We'll show you the surprising effects dry January can have on your health. Today, Thursday, January 2nd, 2020.
From NBC News, this is Today with Savannah Guthrie and Hoda Kotb, live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Today. Thank you so much for joining us on this first Thursday of 2020. Feels good to say 2020.
It does. It rolls off the tongue.
And look who's sitting here. We got Lester Holt.
First day back from vacation. I wanted to get an early start on getting back to work. You're just back from L.A. and the parade.
Yeah, well, it's good to see you on this first Thursday of 2020. We're going to get right to our top story. The U.S. sending more troops to the Middle East in wake of the days-long siege on the U.S. Embassy compound in Baghdad. NBC's chief foreign affairs correspondent Andrea Mitchell has the overnight developments. Andrea, good morning.
Good morning. Happy New Year to you, Hoda. The siege is over for now, but tensions remain high after the worst assault on a U.S. embassy in years, escalating the administration's crisis with Iran and weakening an already fragile government in Iraq.
Back now, 7:30 on this Thursday morning. It is the 2nd of January. I'm going to say it, 2020. We're giving our crowd a little extra camera time today. We're going to head outside, say hi in just a little bit. Joined by Lester Holt and for Savannah. Got up a little early
Great
for us
to be
this
here.
morning.
2020 just rolls off, doesn't it? It's a fun year to say. Hopefully it'll be a fun year. Anyway, let's get to a check of our 7:30 headlines. Tensions between the United States and Iran are at a boiling point this morning after 2 days of violent clashes between U.S. security forces and pro-Iranian protesters at the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. Those demonstrators have now backed away and left the green zone. On Tuesday, President Trump ordered about 650 soldiers from the 82nd Airborne to the Middle East.
The Coast Guard has now suspended its search for 5 missing crew members who were on a crab fishing boat when it sank late Tuesday. The 130-foot vessel called Scandies Rose went down off the coast of Alaska. 2 people were rescued. 5 others remain missing after a search that spanned over 20 hours and 1,400 square miles.
Some travelers in Washington state were trapped in their cars for up to 10 hours after an avalanche of tumbleweeds. Those are tumbleweeds that blew onto the highway. The mountain of tangled branches blocked traffic and even buried some of the vehicles. Look at that. Snowplows were called in to clear the road. A Washington State Patrol trooper he's seen in 20 years on the job.
Not something you see every day, that. Meantime, Pope Francis has started off his new year with an apology. The leader of the Catholic Church saying he set a bad example by way of slapping away the hand of an overzealous woman in St. Peter's Square on New Year's Eve. NBC's Ann Thompson is here with that story. Story's getting a lot of attention around the world.
It certainly is, Hoda and Lester. Good morning. Pope Francis started 2020 condemning violence against women, chastising industries such as advertising and pornography for sacrificing a woman's body for consumerism. But all anybody is talking about is how he reacted to one woman on the last night of 2019.
Pope Francis has built his papacy on reaching out to the old and the young, the sick and the forgotten. But when this woman unexpectedly grabbed the Pope's hand in St. Peter's Square New Year's Eve, she got a most uncharacteristic reaction. The 83-year-old Francis slapping her hand away, visibly upset. The video since went viral with people reacting online. One Twitter user writing, "A slap on the wrist was not the most Christ-like action possible, but it's way more Christ-like than most of us would manage." Another posting, "Don't grab people, Pope or no Pope." By the next morning, the Pope, who calls himself a sinner, apologized at his Wednesday prayer, telling the crowd, "Many times we lose our patience. I do too."